My name is Sebastian Von Trapp, and I'm as Robin puts it, the new cheesemaker in town. Uh, when I get started here, I'm going to pass this little photo album around. As I describe things, you can look at the photos, and if questions come up at the end, feel free to ask. But basically, a little about what we're doing. We're a local cheesemaker, artisan cheesemaker. The cheese you tasted there is from our farm. My brother and I started this cheesemaking company off of our folks' dairy farm, which we grew up on. So we grew up here in Waitsfield. I don't know if y'all are from around here or not, but Waitsfield Common is where the farm is located at. And so we grew up on the farm there, and went off, sort of did, went off to college. I got a job in software, setting up software systems, and traveled all around the country. My brother worked for a timber framing company, maybe you know Alcie's Post and Beam. They're in the valley here. And basically about 5 years after college, we were looking at the difficult situation that our folks are faced with, who are still running the family farm right here in the valley, and they're like workhorses. They're incredible. They keep the farm going, and we decided, contrary to what we originally thought when we got out of college, we said we're going to get as far away from the farm as we can, right? We're not coming back, or not anytime soon. We felt this sort of draw it back to our family farm. We have a beautiful farm in Waitsfield, and you know, the way we were set up, selling conventional milk, conventional dairy farm, the financial part of it wasn't working very well, and we felt, my brother's name is Dan, by the way, in the photos there, we refer to him as Dan. We sort of felt we need to breathe some new energy into the farm, and I've sort of always had an itch to run my own business, and this is the perfect fit. So what we're doing is we're taking the milk that's being produced on our family farm, and we're turning it into cheese. And we're grateful that there's a local Boer community here that wants to buy our cheese, and we're going to send it outside of Vermont as well. You know, we hope to produce about 100,000 pounds of cheese a year. So
wow,
that's kind of what we have set up in terms of a business model for what's going to sustain the farm, what's going to make the farm profitable, sustain my family, my brother's family, my folks, and let us keep the farm. Because like I said, the future of the family farm was looking sort of grim. You know, the next thing was the folks will end up having to sell the farm and retire, and you know, that's the retirement right there. But so anyway, this is an exciting time, I think, to be in agriculture, especially in the valley here. I feel like this local war movement, and the fact that people are looking for their food sources in a way they didn't used to look for them, and trying to find food that tastes better and figure out where it comes from and support, you know, where it comes from. I think that's incredible, and it's a great movement. And I feel like Vermont is sort of, in the valley here, sort of on the cutting edge of a movement that's, we have some momentum here, and it's really exciting. So anyway, the photo book that's going around here, sorry if I'm jumping around a little, I didn't really put much together here for you, but the photo book here illustrates the last couple years. To give you a chronological timeline here, about 3 years ago I quit my job at the software company and went out to search for the best cheesemaker in the state, what I consider the best cheesemaker in the state, and try and get a job with them. And that was Jasper Hill Farms. I don't know if you've heard of them. They make Bailey Hayes and Blue, Constant Bliss. They're awesome. And I was fortunate enough to get a job with them and make cheese with them for about a year. And they embraced the fact that I want to go off and start my own cheese making business, right? it actually fits into their model as well, and they're supporting the small scale farms, trying to keep the agricultural landscape of Vermont alive and well. So anyway, I got a job working for them. Great experience. Learned a heck of a lot. The Keeler brothers, Andy Mateo, and then where the photo book picks up. That's where at the end of my internship with them, my brother and I headed off to England. So we started in London, and I had set up a cheese making tour, call it. A cheese making tour that lasted about a month, and we started in London at Neal's Yard Dairy, which is a I don't know if any of you heard of Neal's Yard Dairy, but Randolph Hodgson, who runs Neal's Yard Dairy, is like the godfather of cheese. So made a lot of great connections with Randolph, and got to see how the retail end of cheese sales in a large city setting works. And then we went off to work with several different small-scale cheesemakers. So we traveled across England and worked with 7 or 8 cheesemakers. The whole time honing our cheese-making skills and coming up with the best facility design for our farm. We built our cheese-making facility, my brother and I, over the last couple of years on our farm, and we wanted to make it work the way we need it to. We're investing in our future, this is what we want to do, and we want to make it work. So we built this beautiful timber frame structure from the timbers that came from our own forest. It's 40 acres of woods that we have behind the farm, and we had them, while I was off making cheese at Jasper Hill, my brother was cutting timbers in the wood lot. And just before we headed out, we brought we had a fellow come in from Williston and with his portable wood miser, which is a great big portable sawmill, and run the timbers through. And then we did all the joinery, and that was in the summer or the spring of '07, and then we went to work and built our facility, and this last January here, we actually had the facility completed. We had the interior done, and we got our milk handling license. That's what Cabot has, what Ben & Jerry's has. That's what you need to produce cheese and sell it. So, and we've been tweaking with our recipe ever since. The 2 cheeses you tasted tonight are sort of what we're working on. We're trying to refine 2 styles of cheeses and then produce a lot of them. And so I was fortunate enough to have Robin, the Mrs. Locavore here, get the word out. We had, a month or so ago, we had our first couple batches ready to sell, what we felt was ready to sell. And Robin sent the word out. She sent the email out to the, she said, do you want me to send it out to the 700 local board members or a select few? And, we kind of decided, well, let's send it out to a few. We don't have 700 chunks of cheese, so they're not even close. But anyway, the response was great, and, we've had a lot of great feedback, and right now that's what we're looking for. We're looking to fine-tune the product so that